Reappearing at the temple he had visited the day before, this time he did not go inside. Instead, retracing his footsteps to where he had found turnips growing on a ledge the day before, assuming Grendlar would gather them. He sat meditating for some time before 2 Grendlar appeared. Immediately, they attacked with their farming implements. Sivle used a small telekinesis spell to send their weapons flying from their hands. "I have no wish for war. I wish to speak to your leader. Please, go fetch him." The Grendlar hesitated a few moments. Seeing Sivle still sitting, making no hostile actions, one ran off while the other went down a crevice to pick up the tools. After retrieving them, he began working the ground, removing weeds and ripe turnips, his eyes rarely leaving this strange half-elf. Several minutes later, the sun rising almost an eighth of the way across the sky, a full banner of armored Grendlar arrived, surrounding Sivle on both sides. "Hold fast to Shiblu," Sivle said, freezing a great number of the Grendlar in place. "I mean to bring no war," Sivle added, as the few Grendlar still moving freely cautiously approached. Sivle interlocked his hands, speaking again. "Look, Lano, Lazrak." This sent gouts of fire from his fingers, leaping out at the approaching Grendlar. The Grendlar jumped back after being scorched, many of them seriously. Then a grackle came around the corner. "Enough, elf," he commanded. Sivle let the flames go. "What do you come here for, if not to steal and make war?" "Stories," Sivle replied.
Sounds of swords clashing awoke Alliandre from her slumber. The clanging of swords indicated a great battle coming from the next room. Not knowing any better, she looked around for Fairwind. But she was alone in the spacious chamber set aside for the 2 females. Fairwind had furnished the room luxuriously, complete with changing screens, soft chairs, and a small couch. She cautiously opened the door and noted the sounds did not seem to get any louder, so she got dressed and ventured down the stairs to the dining hall. Eric was lounging in a corner, fiddling a malknot over his fingers and back. He was still wearing the same clothes as yesterday. On a closer inspection, the jacket had a different weave pattern. Looking closer, the shirt was definitely a different pattern silk, with a low collar which tied at the throat. She wondered how many black pants, shirts, and coats he owned. The shoes were different as well. Instead of the black riding boots, he had a low-topped boot which appeared to lace up the side. They had a low heel and seemed to be made of supple leather, almost like the hide moccasins the common elf wore.
Mirandel Amran Orga began playing a slow up and down melody on the lute. Sivle had never heard it before, which probably meant it was one of Mirandel's newer songs. When he had trained with her a decade ago, he listened to her entire repertoire at least twice. Enchanted with her voice, the weavings of air and ether and fauna went forth as she sang. She had a voice which was soft and sultry, yet she could turn it brassy and loud at the drop of a hat. When she began singing, the words washed across the crowd, and they stayed quiet until her last note.
A prophecy older than elf longest aged was delivered to all as a great battle raged. Men dropped their swords and the elf dropped their bows to mourn all the noble lives whom they owed. Cry with the mother and mourn with the queen, in evil unlike what before we have seen. Eyes flashing violet, she wailed and she cried. The assassins had taken the great Banrian's pride. For hundreds of years then had peace served us well, but hatred and faithlessness remained with us still. Never more clear to us now, I must say, as the Prion Ryoga death showed that sad day.